Sports. We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
It's Hall of Fame weekend at Progressive Field as the Indians welcome in the Oakland A's. Jim Thome headlines a four-man class, and the Tribe's all-time home run leader will join us during the game tonight. On the field, the Indians need to get back to basics, and it all starts tonight as Trevor Bauer seeks to find the rhythm he had before the All-Star break. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. The Indians tonight welcome in the Oakland A's from the American League's Western Division for a three-game weekend series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. We'll be talking a lot throughout the weekend about Jim Thome and the Indians Hall of Fame class. But let's get to the business at hand, and that's the Indians of 2016. And right now, it's a first-place ball club. But offensively, Rick, they've been a little stagnant of late. Maybe a guy like Tyler Naquin can help jumpstart the club. At home this year, he's batted .375.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's vying to play every single day. The way he's swinging the bat, and since June 1st, when he was recalled from the minor leagues, Matt, he's taken off. The guy's hit everything in sight. He's an excellent low ball hitter. He makes adjustments during the course of an at-bat. And I'll tell you, all 12 of his home runs, and that's tied for first for all rookies in the league, have come since June 1st. His 32 RBIs, 30 have come since that point. He's just continuing to get better. We're watching him grow right in front of our eyes. Hopefully, he's going to get an opportunity to play every day. I hope so.
Rick, let's go back to when the Indians were in the midst of that franchise record 14-game win streak. You had the extra inning game in Toronto. Trevor Bauer came out of the bullpen. He did a fantastic job. Worked 5 innings to get the win, to keep that win streak going. Hasn't been the same guy since. Is there any correlation?
It's hard to tell, but since the All-Star break, he hasn't been the same guy. And for what I see, he's not trusting his fastball enough. It seems like he's going to that breaking ball a little early. If you remember earlier, and in that game in Toronto, it was basically fastballs. He didn't have a curveball in that spot. It's up to him to try and get it going right now. You can see 5 starts. He's 3-2 with an ERA of over 4. He's going to be facing Kendall Graveman, a guy that's been reversed. He's very hot. He's a power sinker pitcher. You'll see a lot of ground balls if he is on his game.
All right, when we come back, we'll check in with Andre Knott. He'll give us the state of the Tribe after yesterday's off day, and then we'll have the first pitch between Cleveland and Oakland. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Under partly cloudy skies and 80 degrees in downtown Cleveland. We're just about ready for baseball as the Indians entertain the Oakland A's here tonight. Before the last word, prior to tonight's first pitch, let's go downstairs to a man who's easy like Sunday morning. Here's Andre Nine.
Thank you. That was a very good way to start this. You know, we all know the trading deadline is right around the corner. This is the last weekend before August 1st hits. And with the Indians in the first place here in the AL Central, but not playing their best baseball, a lot of talk about who will be coming and who will be going. And tonight's Hear Right Sounds of the Game, here's Corey Kluber talking about the mindset of this team going into the final weekend before the trade deadline.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's obviously it's a different mindset in terms of we have people chasing us, so we're chasing people, but I think that we still need to play with that same intensity that we played with the last couple of years when we were in that hole. And you know, it's every last game was a do or die game basically, and I think that's still the same mindset that we need to have now. Just because, you know, we have whatever of a cushion, I don't think we can take the approach of just sit back and, you know, things are going to work out great. I think we still need to go out through that same urgency.
In talking to other team leaders of this team, like Jason Kipnis and Mike Napoli, they both said, look, we're in the dog days of the summer right now. Maybe a trade will help give us a boost, but we can't look from the outside to get a boost. We've got to do it for ourselves, and it starts tonight going into this weekend. We can't worry about what management will do. We've got to play our best baseball and get to the playoffs.
And they're starting a string of a lot of home games, so that why not? They played very good baseball, 10 games over the 500 mark in this ballpark this year. They had that great walk-off win the other night. Get it rolling at home, boys, and yeah, have some fun.
Yeah, you can't sit there if you're a member of the Indians and wait for the cavalry to come because they may not show up.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no guarantees that anything's going to happen before the trading deadline. Certainly there's speculation, there is rumor, there are strong words being, you know, put out there that the Indians will make a trade, they will do something, but there are no guarantees. And I think part of the problem the Indians and a lot of teams are having, like the Mets and so many others, the Nationals, everybody's looking for similar pieces. So you've got 4 teams talking to one team about the same guys.
Right, and the more bidders you have, the price goes up.
Well, Trevor Bauer getting ready to make his warm-up tosses here tonight, and here's the lineup he will face for Bob Melvin's Oakland Athletics. They come in 47-55 on the year. Coco Crisp, the former Indian, will lead it off. Jed Lowry, another switch hitter, that's second. Then it's Josh Reddick. Boy, Chris Davis has had quite a year with 25 home runs. Stephen Vogt will catch and hit 5th. Billy Butler, the DH, is 6th. Yonder Alonso, Marcus Semien, who's had quite a turnaround in Oakland this year, and Ryan Healy will bat 9th.
Tonight's Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe, Trevor Bauer, who was 7-4 but has struggled in July. In his last 3 starts, he's 0-2 with an ERA of over 7, 29 base runners in his 15 2/3 innings. And the Indians are 0-3 in his last 3 starts. So you want to see Trevor establish that fastball tonight and stay with it early if he can. He got away from it, you know, in Baltimore in his last start. But this will be his 2nd start against the Oakland A's. About a year ago, he pitched out there in Oakland, pitched a nice game, allowed 1 run with 4 hits and 6 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings, but did not have a decision. He is 2-0 against Western Division clubs this year. Let's set the defense for you for the Tribe. Brought to you by Jeep. Davis in left, Naquin in center, Chisenhall in right, Ramirez at 3rd, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at 2nd, Napoli at 1st with Jimenez doing the catching.
Scott Berry has the plate. Trip Gibson at 1st. Hunter Wendelstedt at 2nd base. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is at 3rd base. And with that, we're ready to go. And Trevor Bauer's first pitch is a fastball in there for strike 1. Coco Crisp getting the start tonight, but this may be the only Coco Crisp we see this weekend, because another young man has taken over the center field spot, Jake Smolinski. Now they really like. And there are also some other elements at play with regards to Coco Crisp and his playing time, as that pitch is up high, namely one of those deals where he's got a $13 million contract option that automatically kicks in if he reaches a certain number of games or plate appearances. High pop up. Jason Kipnis is under it, and he makes the catch. One away. Keys to the game are courtesy of Wayside Furniture for Trevor Bauer. Fastball command, that's something that he's got to get back to. And for the Indians offensively, Kendall Graveman, he is a sinker ball pitcher who specializes in keeping the ball on the ground.
Yeah, and he throws primarily that heavy sinker. For the most part, a couple of cutters, and that's about it.
Jed Lowry batting .274 on the year. In the air, left center field, that's hit pretty well. On the track, Rajay Davis makes the catch a couple of strides in front of the wall. 2 away.
It's all right. On the warning track, make them go the other way. It takes a lot to get it out that way. You know, there's your center fielder helping your fielder that's going after the ball. You're okay. You have room. You're okay. Just letting him know.
That'll bring up Josh Reddick. Reddick's name has been thrown out there as potential trade bait. Swings and pops it up left field near the line. Rajay a long run, can't get to it. There's no way to make that play. The thing about Reddick, it's not that he's not that he couldn't help a team, but what are you going to give up for a guy that's hit 7 homers, driven in 27, and is a corner outfielder?
Well, that's true. Somebody that needs help in the outfield on an everyday basis, possibly. He's a good defender, good throwing arm.
He did miss a month with a fractured left thumb. A 1-2 pitch from Bauer. Bounced it in there. The thing is last year Reddick had a terrific season, hit 20 homers, drove in 77 in 149 games played. Line drive to left. Rajay reaches down and can't pick it up. It dropped out of his glove, and Reddick is aboard to keep the inning alive.
Boy, one of those balls that was sinking, and the team was running off the field figuring he had a beat on it, and it hits the end of his glove and falls out. Routine play, and that's got to be caught. And it looked like it went into his glove. It just didn't stay there. That has to be an error.
I wonder, Rick, did that hit the pocket of his glove and therefore kind of roll up through the webbing?
Boy, I don't know, but that's just a routine play for him. 59th error for the Indians this year.
But there's been a rash of them of late, haven't there?
Yes, there has. There's been a rash of defensively lapses, making errors and not turning double plays where you don't get errors.
Well, and that gives their big bopper a chance there in the first inning. Chris Davis with 25 home runs. In the American League, the home run leaders, Mark Trumbo, we've seen a lot of him recently. Todd Frazier, Edwin Encarnacion, and then Chris Davis tied with a quartet of players at that 25 mark.
Little 2-0 changeup to Davis from Trevor Bauer in that count. Yeah, Davis has been a nice pickup for him. You knew he had power. He's not a good defender, but he can hit the ball a long way. He likes the ball down in the strike zone.
The 2-1 just missed outside. understandable why Bauer would pitch him carefully here. He's hit 6 home runs since the All-Star break. Up the middle, Lindor cuts it off, flips it to Kipnis, and that will end the inning. The error does no damage other than the extra pitches needed by Bauer. The Indians are coming to bed. Their way in, we go to the bottom of the first. Here's the starting lineup for Terry Francona tonight, brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana will lead it off. He'll DH. Jason Kipnis batting second. Then it's Francisco Lindor, Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and Lonnie Chisenhall. Then Rajai Davis, Tyler Naquin, and Chris Jimenez bats ninth. Kendall Graveman's first pitch is in there for a strike over the outside corner.
Well, and you see that's what you're going to get. You see that sinker? I mean, about 90% of the time, 85, 90, he's going to throw that sinker right there and keep it down. Well, as a hitter, you're going to try and make him elevate that pitch, but he has been on some kind of roll, and so have the A's when he's been on the mound.
There's a bullet to first, and a nice scoop by Alonso. One down.
Well, let's check out our Hyundai starting pitcher, Kendall Graveman. His record's 7-6, but boy, they have won his last 8 starts. He has won his last 6 starts, and his last 6 decisions. And this guy's only given up 1 home run in his last 42 1/3 innings. The Indians haven't hit one in the last 5 games. That's something that's been missing. Coming off a complete game on Saturday, and he has averaged 8 innings a start in his last 3 starts, so he's got everything working.
Bounce to first again. This time a different type of play, but Alonso with a good feed, and there are 2 down.
Let's check that defense for the A's. They are right behind the Indians as far as percentage-wise defensively. They've made 63 errors. It'll be Davis in left, Crisp in center, Reddick in right. Healy at third, Simeon at short. Lowry at second, Alonso is at first. Vogt is behind the plate. And the A's have not made an error in their last 7 games.
Francisco Lindor. He looks at a ball down low. Lindor with a hit in 5 straight games. Up high 2-0. Frankie has also really been on fire at home all season long. He's hit .353 here at Progressive Field this year. Batted just over 300 in June. He's batted .313 in July. He has stayed very consistent at the plate. Ahead in the count, 2-0. Perfect pitch, outside edge. Off the leg maybe of Graveman and through for a base hit. It comes with 2 outs in the inning. And it'll keep it alive for Napoli as Lindor just smacked it right back up the gut.
Again, when you're a single ball pitcher, he gets his ground ball, but this one finds a hole. But I mean, that's the pitch made. He hit it where a defender was not. So there's not much you can say about that except good hitting. Well, Lindor gets a base knock, comes with 2 outs. 6-game hitting streak for Frankie.
Well, we'll see if Mike Napoli can do some 2-out damage here. Little low, ball 1. Napoli is a career .250 hitter against Oakland pitching, and with just over 350 at bats, he's homered 21 times in his career against the A's. Low again, 2-0. Knapp leads the team and runs batted in, 6th in the American League. Arcia in the driver's seat tonight. It shows you that so far this year against the West, he's been on par.
Yeah, 11 ribbies in his 15 games. 4 dingers, 4 doubles.
And a foul right back evens the count of 2-2. Kendall Graveman about all the A's have to show for the Josh Donaldson trade.
Well, if he keeps pitching the way he is pitching and has been for the last 8 or 9 games, that's something to see.
That's something to hang your hat on.
Yeah, exactly. Brett Lowry, he was traded over there from Toronto with him, and now he isn't playing in Chicago, and I see he was just put on the disabled list.
The 2-2. Napoli pops one up left field. In comes Davis. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, a man left after 1. No score in Cleveland. Inning here at Progressive Field. And Oakland will send Stephen Vogt, Billy Butler, and Yonder Alonso to the plate here in inning number 2. Jim Thome will join us tonight in the 3rd inning. Catch up with the Indians Hall of Famer to be. Vogt takes a strike. Recently missed 3 games. He was on the family medical list. And while he was gone, the A's called up former Indians farmhand Matt McBride to take his place behind the dish. Long flip. Bauer kicks the bag. Vogt retired, 1 away. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Before the ball game, Jeff Manship has some tendonitis in the right wrist. They put him on the 15-day DL. Zach McAllister was then activated from the disabled list. 1 on, 1 off. Terry said, essentially with Manship, they hadn't pitched him in a few days, and they were trying to work around him to let him get that wrist feeling better to where he could pitch effectively. So he said they can retroactive the move, and they figure by giving him about 12 days essentially off, he should be ready to go at the end of that period of time. 1-0 pitch. And it's low. 2-0.
Well, here's a guy that used to wear the Indians out when he was with Kansas City. You remember Billy Butler, the DH? Sometime first baseman.
2-1. Still not hitting for power. 3 home runs on the year. 25 runs batted in. And they shelled out big bucks to get him.
Well, it sort of, remember his last year in Kansas City, it almost felt like, oh, there he's right back into his own self getting base hits. But Kansas City ballpark was a little too big for him as far as the long ball goes. So the first hit for Oakland tonight, courtesy of Billy Butler, right back up the middle, fastball upstairs that he took advantage of.
And to bring up Yonder Alonso. Butler not really a threat to run, so Napoli telling Trevor Bauer, I'm not really going to hold him. I'm going to maybe
play behind him,
peek at him and
sure,
keep him close. But
play behind him, so don't get crazy and try and throw over
yeah. There. Down low, ball 1. Alonso started out the season hitting .250. I should say, I'm sorry, he hit .210 over his first 50 games. So that batting average you saw up to .250, that's because he's hit almost .300 in his last 47 games. So he's been a different player. Hitting for a little more power of late. Defensively, he's been terrific. He's only committed 2 errors at first base, and that's second among American League first basemen. But it's still the way you look at building a baseball team. You'd like to have some power at the corner positions.
Well, it used to be that way all the time, but not as much anymore. When you can have some guys fill in around the field if you can.
Well, and that's where Oakland has the luxury of Marcus Semien, their shortstops, hit 21 home runs this year.
Yeah, no kidding, and he's hitting 8. He's the on-deck hitter.
Bob Melvin has the A's playing much better of late. They've won 9 out of 13 since the All-Star break, but they're still 8 games under 500. 3-1 pitch, which is why most figure the A's to be in sell mode, not buy mode. And there are a player or two that figure to be gone once the trading deadline passes Monday afternoon.
You would think they possibly, you know, they have Valencia maybe at third base. A couple pitchers they're looking at. You know, Hill was on he was supposed to start Sunday, but he still has that blister on his hand.
3-2 pitch hit in the air. Center field, back goes Naquin. And there are 2 down. Rick, I don't think Rich Hill is quite as attractive as maybe some people think he is, only for the fact that he's 36 years old.
Right.
You know,
Sonny Gray would be.
You kind of think of Rich Hill as maybe being younger because you haven't heard a lot about him as a starting pitcher. He was here a few years ago, mostly working out of the bullpen, but he's kind of turned his career around, but it's in the twilight.
Right. It would be like a rental player for the
Yeah.
most part.
And with regards to the blister, he threw before the game today, long toss. He said the idea was to just get that finger hot, build up the callus to where he can go out and pitch and not have to worry about it ripping open again, I guess. Marcus Semien takes up high, ball 1.
Yeah, this is the guy you're talking about that's really surprised. 21 home runs for Marcus Semien. And, you know, when they got him from the White Sox, you know, last year at this point, he had 28 errors at shortstop. He's down to 13 this year. Worked very hard at improving, and he certainly has done that. And that's why they got him, was for his bat.
Something about July, though. He does not a big July guy. He hit 183 in July last year. He's hitting 183 in July this year.
Next July, give him the month off and tell him to be ready for August.
Here's the 1-1. That's usually the month most guys really hit their stride.
The weather starts warming
Yeah.
up. You know, you get an all-star break in there where you can get a few days off and regroup both physically and mentally.
Tell you one thing, and this may have something to do with it. He doesn't miss a game. He's played in every game this year for Oakland.
Well, that's a good deal. You're going to have down times then.
Runner at first, 2 down, 2-2 count. And a full count now. And the runner goes. The payoff pitch hit the center. Naquin got a great jump on it. Easy play. Inning over. No runs ahead. A man left. Middle of the second. No score. Getting no score for Cleveland. Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Rajay Davis. Pitch outside, ball 1. And a liner right into the glove of Alonso at first base, 1 down. It's go down to Andre.
You know, one thing about Graveman said by Ty Van Berkeley before the game was that he uses leverage very good with that sinker, and he'll use a slider. But because he's had that success that you guys talked about over the last few starts in the first inning, it's been a lot of sinkers recently. So they're just going to try to get him to get the ball up early and go from there.
What is going on? Here's Lonnie Chisenhall taking a strike.
Andre had the day off, and
I don't know if the folks at home heard that the same as we did, but he sounded like he was right out of Star Wars.
Andre Vader.
That's the second base. 2 down.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com @Pat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @Pat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Rajai Davis takes down and in. 1-1.
You go back to June 17th through today, and the American League leaders in ground ball outs. Graveman is #1. Pelfrey #2. Stroman #3.
He went 7 pitches and retired the Indians quickly in the second inning. No score. On a bit of a cloudy evening in downtown Cleveland. For Oakland, Ryan Healy, Coco Crisp, Jed Lowry duo. And Trevor Bauer has given up just 1 hit through the first 2 innings. Well, we're happy to be joined in the booth now by Jim Thome, going into the Indians Hall of Fame.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It's awesome.
It's great.
Are you excited?
It's good to be. It's just so great. I mean, I was here last night walking around the city. The vibe here in Cleveland is so great, and you know, the Cavs winning the championship, and now the way the Indians have played, it's just, man, it's a great time to be in Cleveland, and we're thrilled to be here this weekend.
How do you expect this weekend to be different than when you had the statue unveiling?
Boy, I mean, that's a hard one to answer, because I think they're both such great honors. You know, I mean, how do you ever dream when you get signed by an organization to go into their Hall of Fame and to also get a statue unveiling? And I mean, I never dreamed of that. You just you put your nose to the grind, you keep working, and you have to be around a lot of good teammates, which I was.
Yeah, but let me ask you this: how fast did it go by?
so quick.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
I can remember when you first came up and we were having fun and you were getting used to the big leagues, and now it's all over with. It happens in a hurry, doesn't it?
It happens in a hurry, and I was telling Napoli earlier, enjoy competing, getting in the box every day and competing, because there's no feeling like playing baseball every day.
Ryan Healy retired for out number 1.
And that's what people miss. The guys miss when they leave is the camaraderie and the competition, no doubt.
You do. You miss the dinners on Sunday nights into the city you fly in, and you miss hunting heaters.
Yeah, that's right.
You miss hunting those fastballs.
How about 2002, 52 jacks that year, huh?
Oh, man.
Special year?
It's great. Great, especially accomplishing that after the year that I had 49 and didn't get to 50.
Yeah.
And then to do that here at home, I remember that night. It was so great.
You remember a lot of the home runs you hit. I'm not going to say you remember every single one. Maybe you do.
My memory's not that good,
no,
though.
exactly.
It's really not.
No. But even today I was listening as you were answering questions from some of the writers. Nice play by Tyler Naquin. 2 down.
Good-looking player.
Great sliding backhanded catch by the Indians rookie center fielder. Take another look here as he goes into the dive. But they were asking you about some of the home runs you hit, and you didn't just recall the home run. You recalled who was on the mound as well. Why are some of those just special? What is it about the ones that really stick out in your mind?
Because I think when you're locked into the game and you remember, like, you envision things, you look back, and I remember certain counts. I remember a walk-off in my mind going, okay, I was sitting on a breaking ball there and got it. And that was one of the things we always used. Charlie was so great at. And then as you progress through your career, you have to be able to learn to sit on pitches and to be able. I always call it, I'll give 2 to get 1 in the game.
And don't miss the one
and don't miss the one you get.
Right.
And understand, Charlie, I always say Charlie, but his approach is know thyself. Mm-hmm. Know your game, know your ability, and don't try to do too much. But I go back to the teammates. We had so many great teammates here that pushed all of us.
Oh, yeah, those guys. It was when you first came up, you were hitting, what, 7th, 8th down in the lineup.
And me and Manny.
Yeah,
yes.
You had 2 of those guys. I mean, normally, if you were on an average ball club, you'd be in the middle part of the lineup.
Yeah.
But that took a lot of pressure off you and let you guys get into who you were going to be eventually.
It did.
2 guys over 500 bombs, 1 over 600.
It's pretty special.
It is.
2-ball, 2-strike count on Jet Lowry. He went around, and Bauer quickly retires the side in order. We'll continue with Indians Hall of Famer defeat Jim Thome when we return here to Cleveland. No score, middle of the 3rd. We're visiting with Jim Thome, who will go into the Indians Hall of Fame. The ceremony will take place before the ball game tomorrow. And we were talking last inning about home runs and what you remember. You hit one 500 feet out there to center field. I know you remember everything about that one.
I remember that one.
Poor Don Wingert, unfortunately, probably remembers it too.
Yeah, I remember even that day. It was hot. It was humid. He had thrown me a couple fastballs, and I fouled a few off. And in my mind, I said, "Man, if he throws that pitch again, I'm going to get him." And well, I didn't know it was going to go that far, but it did.
Well, let me tell you, if I was the pitcher, I'd be awfully happy I gave one up. That means you're throwing that hard.
That's
you
right.
Can hit one 500
no
feet.
doubt.
That's something to remember. That's awesome.
Who was number one off? You remember the very first?
Steve Farr.
In New York, right?
With
in
whose
New York.
bat?
Skinner's.
That's right. Joel Skinner's bat.
Yes.
I remember
And you
that.
were wearing number 6,
I was
think,
sitting
right?
number 6.
Yeah.
I think in spring training I might have been 59, and then I was 6, which thanks Cy. Cy took care of me,
oh,
you know.
God, yes,
But you
he
said
did.
something today that I thought was really interesting, especially for young kids. You came up, you went back, and you said you made some adjustments with Charlie so that you never went back to the minor leagues again. And what did he tell you? What was the biggest adjustment you had to make?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is I hit for average in the minor leagues, but as a baseball guy that Charlie was, as much as Johnny Goro was and is, those guys, they wanted when we came here never to look back and never to go back. And I was hitting maybe 320, 330 in AAA, and you know, the word on the street was, hey, when is this guy going to get called to the big leagues? And Charlie kind of said, listen, you know, you have a hard time right now pulling the ball. And once they establish and once they find your weakness, you know, it's going to be tough. So we worked on a few things. He opened me up, moved me close to the plate. And from that day, because of the plate coverage I got out over the plate, you know, the ball down and away to me was in the middle. So he wanted to make sure that I could pull the ball with authority.
There's number 1 right there. Yankee Stadium, upper tank.
Yeah.
No shocker there.
Oh, yeah.
There it is, number 6.
Number 6.
Yes.
Yeah. And you still had that flap on from pulling the ball, but you opened, when you say I opened up, your front foot opened to clear your hips.
Yes, yes.
So that inside part of the plate you could pull, and when that ball was away, you could drive it the other way and not even pull off of it. And you wouldn't have to reach for it.
So my step angle was a little bit to the right of the mound. But the main thing was to keep my shoulder straight going to the ball. But my direction of where I was stepping was a little bit off center of the rubber.
Right.
You know, instead if I stepped to the rubber, I'd be closing my hips off and would have a hard time pulling the ball. But the plate coverage let me, as Ted Williams always teaches, if you read his book, hips and hands. If you got good hips and hands and you got the ability, that's where it starts as a hitter.
Absolutely. And of course, everybody, when you hit home runs, try to pitch in. Now, how many times have they tried to pound you in with fastballs in?
Yeah.
But that's why you walk so much. You struck out a little bit, but you hit a lot of bombs.
Yes.
You know, I have repeated the thing that you said to me, I don't know, had to be 20 years ago. We were doing a radio pregame interview, and you said, if I can get a knock and a walk every day, that keeps me locked in. And you had a lot of games where maybe you didn't have hits, but you drew a base on balls here or there.
2 base on a ball, right.
Keeps the average in pretty good shape, and it keeps you focused in on tracking the ball every day.
Yeah. Matt Thornton of the White Sox, he used to tell me, you're going to strike out. You know, you're gonna walk, and he goes, you'll probably at some point during the night square somebody up. However that falls, you know, it's gonna be, but it was kind of cool.
Here's Don Wingert. Boom.
Oh, that's the big boy.
That's the 500.
Look at it. You lost it on the cameraman. The cameraman didn't go high enough. He didn't know who was hit.
I know.
That's beyond the fencing out there, by the way.
Beautiful.
See the ball disappear,
Yeah, a lot of great memories. And tomorrow, the induction into the Hall of Fame. That's something special. I know you're going to love it.
Oh, my. Are you kidding me? Alonso's putting on a show so far tonight.
Yes, he is.
At first base. Well, that went way too fast. You want to stick around for another
I'll
half
stick
minute?
around,
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to continue with Jim Thome. We played 3, and we have no score here in Cleveland. Fourth inning, the statue of Jim Thome, which looms over the entrance to the ballpark.
That's awesome, and you walk past it and you get a chance to, hey, let me look at myself here for a second.
I drive
you don't even
in.
need a mirror.
Oh man, I drive in and you obviously glance, you look at it and you just think, man, oh man, that's just incredible.
That's
How do you
unbelievable.
ever imagine that?
You can't.
You can't.
No, you can't.
You can't.
That's unbelievable. What a great honor.
Thank you.
What a great honor. And well deserved, my friends. Well,
I appreciate it. As I said, you can't forget the guys that helped, as we all were teammates and we all played a big part in each other's success. It's.
Well, that's what it's all. You're sharing it with your teammates.
You are.
Yeah, with the people that you go through the everyday grind with, and that's one thing about baseball. It's a team sport played by individuals.
Yes.
And certain individuals will get recognized. The guys that put up those big numbers, but boy, if you don't have your surrounding cast, you
That's
have
right. There's no doubt.
It's going to be, I would imagine that'll be an infield single for Reddick. That's a tough play for Napoli. You've got to
They gave him an error.
Yeah, I know.
They gave him an error. The only thing, I think he had more time than he thought. He tried to get rid of it a little too quickly. But we'll see if Trevor can pick him up.
It's a tough throw hitting him on the run.
Yeah.
I remember that play. Yeah.
It's like a quarterback hitting a guy in a crossing pattern. You've got to hit him in perfectly in stride. But, well, leadoff man aboard. Arch and I were talking about this, Jimmy. We come out of the All-Star break, read a story in the paper. Home runs. There had been 600 more home runs hit at this same time this year than a year ago. So home runs obviously are up. And look, there's going to be conspiracy theories out there. The ball's juiced, this, that, and the other thing. What have you seen when you watch the game? Are you seeing more guys that are simply trying to hit for power? Is it the power arms that we're seeing out there that, giving the ball a little more juice on the other end?
Well, I think you got to ask, are the bats harder? Are the bats better made today?
They very well could be, because you don't see them
maple
shatter as much.
Right, you don't see them shattering. I mean, like I remember back in the day, we used ash.
Right.
Now, just picking up a bat today, it seems much harder.
Yeah.
I think all the data that the guys are getting today, I think they're using that to their advantage, and guys aren't afraid to strike out.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to strike out. So their approach 0-0 maybe, which can be good, because I feel this was my approach as well. I looked at 0-0 as 3-0. And I joke. I joke about hunting heaters, but these guys are getting after it today.
They're changed.
Yes.
They're getting much more aggressive. You look at this Oakland A's club, a team that used to take a lot of walks or lasted on base percentage. They don't walk as much anymore. They're 14th in the league, and they're not afraid to strike out. They used to be a team that would walk and see a number of pitches throughout the course of the game. But guys are getting more aggressive now early in the count.
They are. And somebody asked me, how do you become a selective hitter? And I always say, the one word, get dangerous.
Yeah.
If you get dangerous in the box, guys will eventually, they'll start pitching around you. There was never a time that I ever went to home plate and said, oh, I'm taking. Unless it was 3-0 and I got a take sign.
Right.
But my approach, and it was to get dangerous, and then that's how you become selective.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, you can say get dangerous because you could hit it out of the ballpark. If I say get dangerous, they're going to say, seriously? I'm looking for a base hit.
No.
But you're looking to do damage. Not everybody can do that.
No doubt. But in the same regard, and this goes back to Charlie, knowing thyself, you can tell yourself with your ability you're dangerous.
Right.
By your part of your game, whether it's what Kenny Lofton did in line drives. Yeah, so when I say dangerous, I mean the approach of the game, the way you're walking from the on-deck circle to the batter's box. It's me against you, and I'm going to compete, and I'm going to win.
Right.
So much of this game, as I've learned over the years, is centered around confidence.
Yes.
And you have ups and downs. The greatest players of all time, and you're one of them, you go through them.
Yes.
When you had a down cycle, when you had an offer working, and you were scratching your head and looking in the mirror after games, what got you back on track?
Simply, okay, when I pointed the bat, when I held the bat out, what would happen is my front leg would drift back. Okay, I would get narrow, and then as my stride would go, I would stride too long. And Charlie would always used to tell me, Jim, make sure when you're pointing the bat and holding the bat out there, don't bring your front leg back.
With it.
With
the bat.
With it.
Right.
And what my key was always the trigger, having my feet shoulder width apart. And if I kept that, it felt like I was in the game. If my stride got long and I strided far, my front foot would never get down, which would separate your hands.
And then your hands would be too slow.
Exactly.
And you couldn't catch up to a fastball.
Yes.
Totally makes sense. It's fun talking.
And the fact that you gotta understand that guys are going to get you out. They're going to get you out, but you're still competing. And going back, sometimes you got to give up 2 or 3 to get one big one.
Yeah, as we say, people don't know how tough it is to hit a baseball, especially when they're coming in now, 94, 95, and the sinkers and the
cutters now.
The cutters.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's truly amazing. It just keeps improving.
Towards the end of my career there, let's say the last 2 years, when the cutter really started, they started throwing it a lot. That's when it got. That's when I said, "Uh-oh, this is pretty good." When you're throwing a cutter 96 miles an hour into a lefty, I mean.
Yeah, thank Mariano Rivera for that.
Yeah.
For years and
no
years.
doubt.
Because it has taken off, no question. And now the big pitch is a changeup coming out now. There's different ways to throw it. We've got 3 guys on our staff that throw it differently. But that's a tough pitch, too, that changeup.
Yeah.
Jim, I know you were asked this earlier today, but I want to ask you again for the fans who weren't privy to that press conference. Do you, in your quiet moments, ever allow yourself to think about maybe one day going into Cooperstown in the National Baseball Hall of Fame?
You do. You obviously do. But I think for me, I mean, like the moment this weekend, you cherish these moments. And then I have to say, when you watch Griffey go in and you watch Piazza and you watch them give their speech like they did a week ago, you do dream a little bit. It's okay. In this game, it's okay to dream.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think, all of us. You want to play the game hard. And at the end of the day, if you had, and Eddie said this, Eddie Murray, if you have longevity and you play this game a long time and you're blessed to have put up good numbers, maybe you might get that chance.
You're going to get that chance.
Well, it would be a special day, and we'll attack that when that comes.
We'll tell you one thing right now before you leave here. When you're there, we'll be with you.
Thank you.
If we're not there, we will be with you in spirit.
No, it would be, I think, everybody's dream. It's the greatest fraternity there is in all of sports.
I would agree with that.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Bauer deals to Butler. And a line drive just beyond the reach of Jason Kipnis into right field. Coming around third, Reddick will try to score. Throw to the plate, offline. And Oakland takes the lead. It'll be an unearned run. But the A's strike first here in the 4th inning.
Well, again, it's going to be Billy Butler, a guy that has been a thorn in the Indian side, but does a nice job. That pitch was elevated a little bit, but he stayed on it. And Billy has always used the whole field. So gets a 2-out base hit, 1-2 pitch. And they come in and score the first run, so Oakland will play from in front.
Boy, Jim, I know, listening to you just a moment ago when you were talking about it, in this day and age with so many kids being specialized in travel ball and playing baseball year round. I mean, the one thing I know that you're very thankful for is that Chuck and Joyce allowed you to dream.
They did.
And just be whatever you wanted. You played basketball in college. You did it all. And you weren't, you don't just have to play baseball to achieve your dreams.
No, you don't. And having a son now that is active in sports, and I think the biggest thing you want to send a message is, look, we're there for you. But this is not life or death. This is playing sports is a great thing. It's being around your buddies. If you play football, flag football, if you play hockey, soccer, whatever, and there's so many different sports that these kids are playing today. I think it's just so great, and it goes back. It's creating great footwork. It's creating their agility, their speed, their footwork, which translates into other sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, You know, one of the biggest thrills for me is to watch my son put his uniform on and actually put eye black and to just watch the purity of an 8-year-old play the game is incredible.
Does he point the bat?
No, he doesn't. He occasionally will, but I think that's, and he'll look over and smile, but I think that's more for me.
Is he a left-hander or right-hander?
He's just like me.
Okay.
Throws right-handed, hits left-handed.
Beautiful.
So it's a lot of fun.
Now, have you helped out, or you haven't had
I'm
the
his
time?
coach.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You're the main man?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Where do you hit him? Third
He
or
hits
fourth?
But
I wonder why.
he earned that.
Okay.
That wasn't given to him.
That's beautiful.
You don't get, hey, I learned that a long time ago through some great hitting coaches, managers. You earn that spot.
Yeah, okay, you're darn right.
You earn that.
That's great.
He actually, I have to brag on him a little bit as his dad, and I don't much on him, but he hit 4 home runs in a game this year.
Did he really?
He did.
Now
He
that's
did.
hard to do.
He didn't hit them over the fence, but he hit them. He hit them. They were inside the Parkers, and boy, just to watch that was pretty
awesome.
special.
Well, that is a special time. 8 years old, huh?
No, I know.
Well, it's great you have an opportunity to spend time and be a part of his baseball career.
It's fun.
Well, it was great catching up with you.
Guys, thank you.
Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah,
well
we'll see you
deserved.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jim Thome going into the Indians
Thank
Hall of Fame with us here in the booth. The Oakland A's have taken the lead 1-0, middle of the 4th. You enjoy a cold one. Stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. It is a packed house tonight. Every seat appears to be filled. They are hanging from the rafters.
Should be the same tomorrow night. Certainly expect it. Yeah, it's nice to see, isn't it? You look all the way up there above it and you see guys standing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, they're up standing above the retired uniform numbers and beyond.
Oh, and even higher than that.
Yeah, they're up by the pennants. The 1-1 to Kipnis is a line drive base hit in the right field, just what the doctor ordered, as the Indians fell behind, now looking to come right back and answer. It's their second hit of the night. Our Lowe's home field advantage. Best batting average at home in the American League belongs to Ian Desmond, but look at those two guys right on his heels, Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, Lindor singled in his first at bat tonight.
Yeah, Lindor took a ground ball, singled right back up the middle.
Well, it was nice to get a chance to visit with Jim Thome.
Chopped to second base. Unbelievable. The Indians have had a rash of double plays that they've grounded into. No surprise with Graveman. He induces a ton of them.
Yeah, that's number 15 on the year for him as far as getting that double play ball. And we told you, man, that's exactly what he does. If he gets ground balls, he's successful. Well, the man we just had on air, Jim Thome, Albert Bell, Frank Robinson, and Charlie Jameson will be inducted into the Indians Hall of Fame tomorrow. The Indians' middle game of this series, 15,000 fans will get a Thome bobblehead, and the post-game fireworks will be presented by the Brilliant Electric.
Charlie Jameson was part of the 1920 World Championship Cleveland Ball Club. Passed away in 1969 at the age of 76. But Jimmy was saying today that he marvels at the fact that the all-time franchise record for singles in a single season is owned by Charlie Jameson. In 1923, he had 172 singles.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's a lot of hits. I mean, a lot of hits, period, but all singles. Nice.
Jimmy was saying, I might have struck out 172 times, but I don't know about hitting that many singles.
Well, back in those days, there weren't many home runs hit, so you had to put the ball in play, and they were swinging bats about 38 ounces, and they weren't that big.
That year, Jameson finished 6th in the MVP voting in the American League, played 152 games, scored 130 runs, had 36 doubles, a dozen triples, 2 homers, and of course 172 singles.
Awesome year.
He also walked 80 times. Had a .345 batting average and a .422 on base percentage.
Yeah,
that's quite a year.
The average in the walks, no question.
Two down, bases empty, a full count for Mike Napoli. To third, backhanded by Healy, and the inning is over. 4 complete. It's Oakland 1, Cleveland nothing. Is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. One nothing our scores. You look at Playhouse Square, not far from the ballpark here in downtown Cleveland. Marcus Semien leading off the 5th for the A's. He flied to center his only time up. Bauer came into the inning with 40 out of 66 pitches thrown for strikes. Three and one. It's been over a month since Trevor Bauer won a game as a starter. You have to go back to the start in Atlanta on June the 27th when he went 6 innings and gave up 2 runs.
Simeon put a pretty good swing on that 3-1 fastball.
Threw it by him. That was a terrific fastball. 95 miles an hour. He kept it down. He gets his 3rd strikeout.
Take a look at the fastball on our Nissan pitch tracker. That's Challenge City right there. 95. He threw it and he threw it by him. There you go. He had 2 fastballs to hit and couldn't catch up to one of them.
Swung on and missed. Breaking ball right. Back to Bauer. Easy play for the pitcher. And there are 2 down. You know, Rick, when Trevor made his start in Baltimore, I mentioned we had the number, and I don't recall exactly what it was, but the difference between Bauer pitching on regular 5 days rest,
right,
and when he had extra rest,
right,
the numbers, for whatever reason,
skewed.
were not real good. And I was just looking at it, that since that start in Atlanta, and then the subsequent appearance out of the bullpen in that extra inning game, which was necessary about, he hasn't had a normal 5-day turn. After that game, when he came out of the bullpen, he went 6 days before he made his next start. Then 9 days between starts.
Because of the All-Star break.
Then 6 days between starts because of the off day after the All-Star break. And now this is 7 days.
Well, I mean, the weird thing of it is we had 3 days off coming out of the All-Star break, which is so strange. You know, but that's just the way it falls. You know, you look at it now, and yesterday's off day, but, you know, the next off day at home will be September 1st. The next off day will be in Washington on our next road trip, and that's it.
Popped him up. This is going to be out of play, though, back into the seats.
So it's, you know.
But Trevor's not, I'm not saying he's using that as an excuse at all. I mean, everybody has to deal with the schedule, and you've got to make the adjustments. But it's interesting for a guy who seems to be really good when he's on that every 5 days. He hasn't been able to get on that track.
I would think, you know, when it gets to this time of year, there's nothing wrong with getting an extra day or 2.
I wouldn't think so either. Up high, 3-1. And as you pointed out, once we get through this next stretch here, there won't be many off days, so you'll be pitching every 5 days.
You'll be begging for one here soon. This is the Indians' 100th game tonight.
The 3-1 pitch. And Coco wasn't even sure.
Well, he was waiting up there. He did not take off too early. He didn't want to hear a called strike 3. That's Bauer's first walk.
Let's go down to Andre.
First of all, do I sound normal?
No.
No.
I don't. Yeah, they don't want me to work. Sabotaged by
That's unbelievable.
It sounds funny, I know. I was going to talk about Trevor Bauer, though, and workloads. He wants to work, and I know you guys are right. But he was mad that he couldn't throw over the All-Star break. Remember when I told you guys that story?
Yeah, I can't even listen to you. I mean, I'm just laughing.
Yeah, what's the difference in any other time?
Oh, they're telling us that it's going over the air fine. It's just you
so
and
we just got to deal with it.
Yeah,
I sound crazy to me too. Which is nothing new.
That's okay, Darth. Go ahead.
No, but Trevor was. I brought up that stat, Matt, that you had the day after his last start, and he shrugged his shoulders at me and he goes, "I want to throw every day," and he goes, "I just don't feel right unless I'm throwing on a regular basis." He didn't use it as an excuse, but he says that's just how I've always pitched. That's what I've learned. That's how my body works best in my mind.
Yeah, and I get that, and I totally understand it, and I think most people would, certainly empathize with Trevor. But as we also pointed out, you don't get to make your own schedule in baseball. You're at the mercy of it, and so Trevor's got to figure out a way to, adjust somehow. I don't even know if it really needs an adjustment. It's just the way it is, and it has not worked to his advantage. But look, here tonight, he's pitched very well to this point.
He's done fine. He's given up 2 hits, and both of them to the same guy.
Routine play for Jason Kipnis, and that will end the inning. We're halfway through. It's Oakland 1, Cleveland 0. All right, here's our great clip of the game from the last time we played. Jose Ramirez. He continues to swing the bat at an incredible pace, in particular here at home, hitting .345 on the year. Ramirez was 3 for 6 against the Nationals. Hit a line drive, but into the glove of Yonder Alonso at first base. His only time up in the second inning tonight. Quickly in the hole 0-2. And Graveman just misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just 2 hits for the Tribe tonight. Pair of singles.
Just 2 balls in the air. Both coming in the second inning. That line drive that Ramirez hit, and then the fly ball by Rajai Davis to end that inning. Other than that, he got the 1 strikeout. He hasn't walked anybody. And again, ground balls.
There's a ball hit in the gap, but it's going to be cut off there by Reddick, who got over quickly. But Ramirez has a base hit, and for the second inning in a row, the Indians get their leadoff man aboard.
That's one of the few cutters that he's thrown tonight, and it was upstairs, and Ramirez took advantage of it. See that? Stayed up. Much easier to hit. He gets it in the air. He gets the single.
All right, Arch, let me ask you now. From what you've seen so far, guy's obviously a ground ball machine. No disputing that. Do you try to, if you get into a good count here, start a runner, get something going that way?
Well, we'll see. He's around the strike zone. He's throwing a boatload of strikes. You can. I mean, you can start a runner, yes. It's a 1-0 ball game, but you get yourself an account. He's not throwing a bunch of different pitches.
Off the glove of Alonso. He stays with it. Goes to second. They get the force there. Quickly, one away.
I'll tell you what, this guy's putting on a clinic over at first base.
If he caught that cleanly, it's going to be another double play.
It would have been. I mean, Chisnall hit that ball right on the nose. And it's going to be right into the tracks of Alonso. That's right in Lonnie's wheelhouse, and he gets the sinker, but he tracks it down. Backhanded side. He doesn't catch it cleanly, but he does get the lead runner. You can see Simeon going to the inside, giving him a lane to throw into. And they get the force out at second.
Alonso's right there. Only Mitch Moreland at Texas has been better. So a lot of those guys are tightly packed together. Still, we've already seen it. He's been on display tonight.
He certainly has to this point.
Well, that happened too fast. They didn't get a chance to put anything on. But at some point, you figured you're going to have to try something.
Well, you don't want to give up outs, but you know, they're going through a lineup the second time. Well, there was a pitch that Rajai had to hit. Fouled it back. It's one elevated. He hasn't thrown many up there today. That's for sure. He's been down in the strike zone. I mentioned he's coming off a complete game in his last start. And usually as you go through with Graveman through the lineup, first time through he's a 280 average, second time through it's 300, third time through it's 336, but he's only given up 3 hits tonight.
I think some of those numbers must be skewed from when he struggled early in the year.
No question. His first 8 or 9 starts.
They start the runner and Davis fouls it back.
Yeah, that's a 2-2 pitch there. Figuring he's going to throw a strike. His ERA on the road is over 5. At home it's under 3.
Look, remember back, we saw Jake Westbrook get into grooves like this where he was just a robot, just a machine.
Yeah, and when you get your ground balls, you get them hit to your infielders, and it's a nice, easy game.
What the offense has to hope is that if he does flatten out a couple of those sinkers, they don't miss them.
Right. You don't want to miss it. The cutter is what Ramirez started this inning off with. But you know, he can't stay down there all night. At least you would think so. He's got to get elevated eventually.
Right back to him, knocked him off the mound. He recovers to get Chisenhall 2 down. Well, ground ball after ground ball so far.
Well, here's another play where it's right back up the middle. It looks like it's a base hit, but Graveman knocks it down, and he is able to get the lead runner again. Force out at second, but now you've got your best base stealer on the base, and see what happens here. Of course, with Tyler Naquin at the plate, the left-hander, you've got your catcher Jimenez on deck. If he steals a base, does he give him anything to hit? Because Naquin's a good low ball hitter. Pretty quick to first.
Pitch out, but nothing doing.
Yeah. You know, that's a pitch out, and that was well below average, but they were guessing on the first pitch over there. Bob Melvin or whoever gives the signs to vote that pitch out. We'll take our chances. But then again, they know Rajai over there. He played for the A's. They played against him for years. They know he will get up and he will go. And if he gets an opportunity, he usually goes early.
Outside 2-0. Well, the Tigers are thrashing Houston tonight at home 9-3 in the 4th inning.
Yeah, Houston had a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning.
Detroit started the night 4.5 back of Cleveland, 6 back in the loss column. 2-0 pitch, runner goes. The throw, close, but he's safe. Rajay with his 25th stolen base on the year.
He just outruns the baseball still at his age, 35, gets a tremendous jump, goes head first, and just goes right over the base. By the time they tag him down around the hip, his hands are on the bag. So there's your runner in scoring position. There's a 3-0 count. I would not expect to see Naquin get much to hit here.
He swung 3-0 and it's fouled back.
Yeah, that's right. Give him the green light the way he's been swinging the bat. If you like it, go after it, young man, and he did. I like it too.
Tyler hitting .375 at home on the year. And with the tying run in scoring position, we're in the bottom of the 5th. How's that off full count? Payout pitch. Missed outside with the fastball. And there are 2 on with 2 out. Chris Jimenez coming to the plate. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Indians with a +84 run differential on the year. But what's really interesting is that they're -16 against the American League's Western Division. So this has not been a division that they have done well against so far. They're 7-9, so the record isn't as bad as you might think it is, being that they've been outscored overall.
Well, the East or the West, they're under 500. They've taken care of business in their own division. I'm going to take some time to send along a very happy 100th birthday to Sarah Kerr. Big Tribe fan celebrating her 100th birthday. Congratulations.
Happy birthday. Go boys, get some runs for Sarah.
You know, 2 out runs is something that's been missing in the Indians offense recently. Last 6 games they've been outscored 15-2 by the opposition when they have 2 outs. So they're in a position here to tie this game with a 2-out base hit.
Chris Jimenez has picked up a hit in 7 of his last 11 starts behind the plate. Grounded out in the 3rd. And he's up here in a big spot on the 5th. Graveman gets ahead, ball and 2 strikes. Ground ball right after shortstop Simeon. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We played 5. It's Oakland 1, Cleveland nothing. And so far, it's been a game dominated by the 2 starting pitchers. 1 unearned run is the only run we've seen so far. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Billy Butler with an opposite field 2-out single brought home Josh Reddick, who reached via an error to start the inning. And that has been it. Reddick, in fact, has been on base both times tonight due to errors by the defense. He reached on a Rajai Davis miscue and left in the first. And while at first glance I didn't think it was an error, Mike Napoli was charged with one in the 4th inning. It's a difficult play for a first baseman to have to field it and then throw to a moving target. Napoli's throw was behind Bauer. Nonetheless, that's the only run on the board. Strike 2 and 1. Oakland has won the season series against the Indians 3 times in the last 4 years. That's clobbered deep right, and it's 2-0 Oakland. Josh Reddick's 8th home run of the year, leading off this 6th inning.
Trevor Bauer, his 11th home run given up. Just a line drive. He left a fastball up out over the plate. Reddick put a good swing on it, and that did not take long to get out of here. So they increased their lead to 2.
Up comes Chris Davis. He's 0 for 2 on the night. He sends a high drive deep to center. Back is Naquin at the wall. He leaps, and that's gone. Back-to-back homers for the A's here in the 6th. It's 3-0. Home run number 26 for Chris Davis.
Well, he hit that one high, and it had some carry to it. Naquin got back as far as he goes and just ran out of room. Is that a changeup? I'm not sure if that was a changeup or a fastball. That ball goes to straightaway center, gets out of here. But Davis hits his 26.
Yeah,
that was a changeup. Yes, it was. And he was ready for it. So with 2 swings of the bat, I mean in a hurry, it's a 3-0 ball game. Callaway out. Starting to have some fun in there. What a year he's had, Davis. Coming over from the Brewers.
Offensively, Davis had been struggling lately, but he has picked it up. Hit in 6 straight games. Dan Otero up in the Indians bullpen. Stephen Vogt 0 for 2. Swung out and missed. Breaking ball in the dirt. Bauer has his 4th strikeout of the night, 1 down.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout curveball to Stephen Vogt, and he gets him to go chase after that pitch. And that's a Circle K home run.
Yeah, I don't know. That's Billy Butler 2 for 2, 2 singles on the night. Takes a strike. Crockett from the left side up in the pen as well. That bounced well in front of the plate.
Well, we've seen Trevor do that in the last few starts, and to be Chris Jimenez. You know when you call it, he's ready to block it all the time.
Full count. And he walked him. One out on the 6th. And Oakland has taken command of the game with back-to-back solo shots here in the inning.
Yeah, he had Butler down 0-2 and ended up walking him.
It's going to bring up Yonder Alonso. He flied to center in the 2nd. He was called out on strikes in the 4th inning. And that's ball 1. Two and 0. And this will be the 100th pitch of the night coming up for Bauer, who goes behind the mound, wipes the sweat from his brow.
Well, in his first at bat, if you remember, he threw him a 2-0 changeup, and Alonso hit the ball deep to center field in his first at bat. I think it came on a changeup, so be careful here.
Fastball was fouled out of play. 2-1. Count evens up 2-2. Nice stab, but that time by Jimenez. Well,
this could be Bauer's last hitter right here if he doesn't get him. He had the left-hander up in the bullpen, Crockett. I thought he was on in case Alonso got up there, but once he did, Bauer stayed in. Crockett sat down.
Runner goes on the 3-2 pitch. I guess he didn't go. I know it's Billy Butler, but I just figured with a 3-2 count, and you got a 3-run lead, and they're not really holding him.
Well, that's
he'd take off anyway.
Now, he'd have to get the pitcher out of the full windup. I think it was.
Hey, you got nothing to lose. You stay out of the double play.
Look, I agree. You know, but this is not how they're built. At least with these two guys at the plate.
Yeah. That's hammered right field. Lonnie makes a nice play on the ball, holding Butler to second base. And that's probably going to be it for Bauer, and it is.
It sure is. Tough inning for Trevor here in the 6th.
Boy, he was cruising along, pitched well for 5, gave up 2 hits, 1 unearned run in the first 5, but gives up back-to-back solo homers to start the inning. And then after a strikeout, a walk, and a hit, and his night is over. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. It'll be the right-hander Dan Otero when we come back. Chris Antonetti on Tuesday, August 16th, right here at Progressive Field for the Positive Coaching Alliance breakfast. Fans will get a behind-the-scenes perspective about the player development program, and the tickets are available by going to the website positivecoach.org/chapters/Cleveland. Dan Otero on for the Indians, facing Marcus Semien with 2 on and 1 out. And the A's on top 3-0. Trevor Bauer blew through the first 3 innings of this game on 46 pitches. And only gave up 1 hit. Then the unearned run that came in the 4th. The wheels came off here in the 6th. Popped Popped him up right field. In comes Lonnie Chisenhall. 2 down.
Well, KeyBank Kids tickets, just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Located in the family deck here at Progressive Field, right next to the kids clubhouse. Kids tickets only available at Indians.com.
Going to bring up Ryan Healy, who was 0 for 2 in the ball game. And the pitch is inside, ball 1. Good pitch. In for a strike.
It was running it inside. Otero pitched for the A's. A couple of years ago, had a very good year for him out in Oakland. Having a nice year here for the Tribe. Trying to get this third out and get the offense into the dugout.
Cody Anderson getting loose now on the pen, but it's on Dan Otero's shoulders to get out of this inning without allowing any more damage. Ryan Healy, a California native, played collegiately at Oregon, and then a third-round pick of the A's just 3 summers ago. A little low. Full count.
Yeah, that'll give Butler a head start now at second. He may need it on a base hit. Otero looking for the final out.
Runners go, and a foul ball by the dugout. Ryan Healy played just 3 years for the Ducks, but he still set the Oregon career record in runs batted in. We got Danny Valencia, but they've basically said we're going to give this kid a long, hard, everyday look.
Why wouldn't you?
3-2 pitch. Another foul.
Putting up a pretty good at bat here. Pitch number 8. As soon as Otero lets it go.
Again, the runners are off. The 3-2 pitch. Lindor has it. He'll go to first, and the inning is over. But back-to-back solo shots for the A's in the 6th have Oakland sitting pretty, 3-0. Bottom of the 6th. The Indians have been handcuffed by Kendall Graveman on just 3 singles so far. Santana fouls the first pitch off. He's 0 for 2.
Well, he has certainly pounded the strike zone and everything we heard. It's a lot of sinkers primarily. He lets his defense play behind him. Gets a lot of ground balls, and he has done exactly that tonight. And he has been a different guy in his last 10 starts compared to his first 7 or 8.
Santana with a drive to deep right center field. Reddick, he's out of room. It's out of here. He made a great leaping effort at the wall, but Santana gets the Indians on the board with his 22nd home run of the season, and it snaps a 5-game home run drought for the Tribe.
Boy, does it ever. And Santana, let's see what this is. He caught a sinker that was out over the plate. Boy, and stayed back on it, gave it a ride. Ties Napoli now for the team lead with his 22nd homer. In one swing, the Indians are on the board, and they cut it to a 3-1 lead thanks to Santana's home run.
Jason Kipnis had a base hit his last time up and looks at a strike. Indians needed to do something to try and get this big crowd into the game. They've been on their hands up till now, not able to really make any noise, not really urged to make any noise. Now Kipnis sends a fly ball, pretty well struck left center. Coco Crisp right in front of the wall. 2 down. Or 1 down, excuse me. Up comes Francisco Lindor, who was 1 out of 2 on the night. Santana tying Mike Napoli for the team lead in home runs with number 22. Rick, it seems like every time Santana's hit one, Napoli comes right back.
Yeah,
and takes
it seems like that this year. He also, for Santana, ties Grady Sizemore on the Indians' career list.
Just outside, you notice how low Stephen Vogt, the catcher, gets when he wants Graveman to make sure that sinker is down. He'll drop down to a single knee and try to get as low as he possibly can. He does
there you go.
Here.
Yeah, with this guy, you figure, you know, you want to keep that target down, so the lower you get, the better it off he is with it. But
it's only the 2nd walk he's issued here tonight, but it has opened the door for the Indians here in the 6th, down 3-1, excuse me. T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Francisco Mejia with a 41 game hitting streak now.
That's I don't care where you're playing, that's impressive.
He's a catcher that obviously has a lot of promise. Number 6 prospect in the Indians organization.
41 game hitting streak as a catcher, man. That even makes it a little more special, I would think.
Well, here's Mike Napoli, 0 for 2 on the night, and he fouls it back.
Well, he tried to tie it up with one swing there.
He sure did, didn't he? Popped him up. And let's see if this stays in play for Reddick. And yes, it will. Just outside the line to a win. And I'll leave it up to Jose Ramirez. Pitch is low.
You know, he's pretty quick to the plate to give Vogt an opportunity. I don't know what they're talking about there. Said you can't worry about that guy at first base. You have 2 outs, get your hitter.
The Indians don't have a hit with a runner on base, so they only have 4 hits in the game.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4, all leadoff hits. They had a 2-out single by Lindor in the first, and a leadoff single by Kipnis in the 4th, by Ramirez in the 5th, and Santana here in the 6th.
Now the Indians have at least come back and answered with a run to get on the board. But
right,
boy, you'd like to try to keep the pressure on Graveman a little bit here, but another ground ball out. 6 complete. Indians on the board. It's now Oakland 3, Cleveland 1. Santana's 22nd home run of the year finally gets the Indians off the schneid. By Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Up to 25% off on 2016s. Save now. (3-1) Oakland on top. We go to the 7th inning. The Indians go back to the bullpen. And Otero got the last 2 outs of the 6th. They'll give way to Cody Anderson, who will face the top of the order for Oakland here in the 7th. Well, we're less than 72 hours away from the trade deadline. And the fodder just continues to be thrown around out there. Oh,
it'll be a busy weekend.
A lot of rumblings about Jay Bruce of Cincinnati potentially being on the move, and the Dodgers are rumored to be the team that is most likely to land him. And that has, of course, spawned more rumors that Yasiel Puig could be on the move.
How many? Anybody that's traded has a chance to go to the Dodgers.
It seems like they're in play on everybody.
They are. It's unbelievable for 3 weeks how everything just goes out there and flies around.
Well, if you're a reporter, you could just say, so-and-so might be traded and the Dodgers are interested.
Yeah, that's true.
You're probably right. Swung on and missed. Coco Crisp 0 for 2 with a walk. Now the 2-2. Our guy John Morosi from Fox Sports, he's reporting that the Dodgers are having serious discussions involving Jay Bruce, and he's reporting it could be a 2 or a 3-team scenario involving the Tampa Bay Rays. Crisp, Lowry, Reddick for the A's here in the 7th, and that's low, full count.
Pretty good take on a changeup there.
And he threw it in the dirt. Ball 4. Walked the leadoff man. Then it'll bring up Jed Lowry.
Well, you can celebrate Slider's birthday out at Progressive Field. That'll take place Sunday. It's KeyBank Kids Fun Day. All kids can run the bases after the game. Just visit Indians.com for your tickets.
Jed Lowry is 0 for 3. He has flied out, struck out, grounded out. Sunday it was supposed to be Rich Hill starting for Oakland. As I mentioned earlier, he's been scratched. Corey Kluber will go for the Tribe in the series finale. Tomorrow night it's Josh Tomlin for Cleveland against Dylan Overton. Eight pitches for Anderson, only 3 thrown for strikes. Talk about trends all the time in sports, and for Jed Lowry, he's trending the wrong direction. He had 314 in April, 302 in May, 268 in June, and now 224 in July.
Not how you lay it out or map it out. Well, the one key for Cody Anderson, as we all know, it's a matter of you know, getting ahead in the count, pitching ahead in the count with his stuff. But he's been falling behind, and as out of the bullpen, that's one thing you have to be, is aggressive. And you can see up behind him is Crockett.
Fouled right back. Coco Crisp at first base. He has 5 steals, but he's also been thrown out 4 times.
Well, probably at that point in his career where you don't take off now unless you know you could steal it off certain pitchers. And they start paying attention to you.
And the 2-2. Foul back. If I can still remember. Gosh, it's more than a decade ago. I don't know how long ago to be exact. Maybe 11, 12 years ago. Coco tripled off the wall in right field against the Cincinnati Reds in a big come from behind win.
He was playing left field back then, wasn't he?
Yeah. Came over from St. Louis, part of the Chuck Finley deal. Threw it by him, struck him out. Good pitch by Cody Anderson. Here's our AT&T high-speed replay of the 6th inning. Josh Reddick led off the inning with a home run, and then Chris Davis followed it up with another one.
Yeah, that one was hit a lot higher, had some carry to it. They both get out. Back-to-backs. That made it a 3-0 ball game at the time. The Indians were able to come back and answer it with at least 1 run on the board.
Reddick takes a strike. Wow, I mean, he overpowered him. It's 94, but it had some late life because Reddick was very tardy.
Yeah, you see, he got it by him, no question. So down to the count now, 0-2. See what Anderson tries to do here.
Tigers still landed to Houston. Detroit leads the Astros 10-3. They're in the 6th inning in the Motor City. Well, there were reports during the day that the Tigers are out looking to add a catcher at the trading deadline.
Well, I think McCann for them, he's hitting under 200.
And Avila's been hurt a lot. I don't know if he's back yet.
No. Avila's with the White Sox. That's
that's right. I'm thinking of yeah. 0-2 pitch. Popped him up. Out goes Lindor. In comes Davis. He makes the catch. 2 down. Yeah, there was a story about Detroit looking at Oakland and talking about Stephen Vogt. You know, would he be an upgrade over McCann? That was the crux to the story. And you know, they looked at it and they said offensively he'd be an upgrade, but defensively,
right,
maybe not as good.
Right. McCann does a nice job throwing. They have Saltalamacchia as their backup, so. Well, the theme here tonight is Christmas, and everybody has a wish list, I guess, in baseball before the trading deadline. And let's see who's going to get their wish list taken care of here by Monday.
Chopped up the middle. Right there is Kipnis, and the inning is over. Stretch time here at Progressive Field. The Indians trail the A's 3-1. top, bottom of the 7th. It'll be Chisenhall, Davis, Naquin for Cleveland. Kendall Graveman has given up just 1 run, a solo homer to Santana in the 6th. And he fires the first pitch, strike in the line.
Well, Graveman, 12 outs and 3 pitches or less. And, you know, he's been on the ground with so many of them.
Popped him up. The shortstop, Semien. 1 away. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Now back on the day the Indians unveiled a statue to honor Jim Thome as the franchise's all-time home run leader. There was still a game to be played that night. And in true Thome fashion, he went out and hit a home run that game. Rajay 0 for 2 on the night. Stole a base in the 5th inning, but was stranded in scoring position.
They just take
2-0.
It's one way to just drop your bat, get it out of the way.
One of the stops during Rajay's career was with Oakland. Low and away, 3-0.
As I said, Graveman in his last 3 starts has averaged 8 innings a start. 3 starts ago he went 8. 2 starts 7. His last start he completed a game. Don't think he's going to complete one tonight, but he's taking him deep into the game.
Man, he's made it look easy for the most part.
Yes, he has. 4 hits. The one that left the yard was Santana last inning. Don't know if he's getting the ball up.
Up the middle. Semien cut it off, but couldn't come up with it cleanly.
That'll be the error for Oakland. First error of the night. Marcus Semien, his 14th. We just told you tonight how much better he's been.
That's still the most, though, among American League shortstops.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to last year, we showed you he had I think at this time, 35. So it's a big improvement.
Yeah.
In a year. But that one right there is when you don't want to give up late in the ball game.
Tyler Naquin takes the ball.
Try and get something started. That's a play you want to have made. But it happens to everybody.
I wonder, there has to be a statistical number, magical number, where you could say, this is how many we can live with.
Well, I don't know what so much a number. It's on the plays that you make them. That's just like a routine play there. That's what your manager wants you to make, all the routine plays, and he knows you're going to, you know, flub a few.
Naquin with a line drive, base hit in the left field. And Rajay stops at second, so the Indians have their burners aboard with 1 gone in the 7th.
Well, that was a really nice swing, knowing he was going to pitch him away. He just stayed right on the baseball and takes it that way. Look at that. Boom. Stay back, keep your hands, and really a line drive. Boy, he gets down on the baseball very well when that pitch is low. I mean, it hits the line drive. So now that he reaches, now Jimenez is going to get pinch hit for.
Abraham Almonte will bat for the Indians catcher, and left-hander Mark Zipchinski is up in the Oakland bullpen. Almonte on the year has 5 hits. All 5 have been doubles. He's truly double or nothing.
Well, the Indians 6 for 42.
The runners go. Almonte smokes it to center. Davis has to get up after he dove headfirst into third. He will score. It's a 1-run game. Indians at the corners with 1 out. The Indians put some guys in motion. Almonte smoked it. It's his first single of the year, and it gets the Indians within a run.
Well, this is, they wanted to make something happen. You have your speed on the bases. Why not? Almonte takes the first pitch off Graveman, and that ball starting to get up a little bit. And Davis going head first, gets right back up and had plenty of time to cruise into home plate. So now they have it all set up. 1 out, runners at first and third. Out comes Bob Melvin. There's a lefty up and a righty, and they just got up. He's already
Zipchinski is coming in.
Zipper's coming in.
So the A's have given up an unearned run, just as the Indians did earlier tonight. Graveman leads. He's responsible for the 2 aboard. It's a 1-run game.
Tommy, Albert Bell, Frank Robinson, and Charlie Jameson will be inducted tomorrow night to the Indians Hall of Fame. And 15,000 fans will get a Tommy bobblehead. And also, after the game, there will be fireworks.
Well, we'll see if this sellout crowd can start to make some noise now. First and third with 1 out. Former Indian left-hander Mark Zipchinski on for the 47th time this year. And he'll be facing Carlos Santana, who homered his last time up.
Well, Alomar over there in the ear of Almonte. Mark Zipchinski pitched here. They know him. They know he has trouble holding guys on first base and could have issues throwing the baseball. Now, I saw Sandy in his ear. You don't know what was happening. You saw they were aggressive off Graveman. Let's see here. It's Santana at the plate with 1 out. Chance to tie the game with a fly ball and have a big inning if you can get a base hit.
Naquin is at third, the tying run. Almonte, the go-ahead run at first. And Santana takes a strike. And that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We will see. I don't think we'll see him throw to first base. He never had a very good move.
Bounced it. Vogt with a good job to block it. It's 2-1. The outfield plays Santana straight up. On the infield, they play Lowry, the second baseman, not directly behind the bag, but they've got him shaded up the middle. So it's not quite an overshift, but they've given Santana a huge hole on the right side of the infield.
Yeah, but probably seeing a steady diet of changeups too on the pitches to get him to roll over on one. They're looking for a ground ball double play to get out of the inning.
Well, the way Santana has swung the bat from the right side, he ought to be looking for that changeup and just trying to go the other way. He only hit 2 homers, batted .238 from the right side. And it's 3-1. Zipchinski wanted that pitch. He's not happy. And now this crowd's starting to sense it a little bit.
That's another changeup inside. Maybe the way Vogt caught it, you know. See the glove go down and then pull it back up.
Now they're starting to get on their feet. The 3-1 pitch. Ball 4, and they're loaded. Bob Melvin talking it over with his staff in the dugout. At one point they led this game 3-0. But the Indians have come back with 2. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second. And Jason Kipnis 1 for 3 on the night. And that's low ball 1. Out goes Vogt. And the pitching coach, Kurt Young, joins the conversation. So far this year, with the bases loaded, the Indians are just 9 for 50.
Ouch. Well, none bigger than right now. They have a chance to tie this game or take the lead. In the 7th inning, this is when they do a lot of their damage at home.
Low 2-0.
That's right. Kipnis doing a good job of making it get the ball up and get it in the strike zone. He walks Santana. He's only thrown 1 strike out of his 7 pitches.
The 2-0. And Zipchinski in the zone. 2-1. Let's put it this way. It was called a strike. Broke his bat. Bloop toward left. Semien can't get it. It drops a base hit. And the Indians have tied the game. Jason Kipnis with his 53rd run batted in on the year on a broken bat, bloop to left. Oh, how do you do?
How good does that feel? Doesn't matter. The job is done. The aggressiveness on the bases, and his bat goes all the way out to second base. But that's a perfect thing because it bloops in front of Davis coming in. He's got a poor arm to begin with. But they tie the game, and they still have the bases loaded, and Zipchinski's night is done, and he didn't get anybody out.
He gave up a hit, walked a batter. He's out of the ball game. Jason Kipnis says thank you very much. And the bases are still loaded as the Indians have an opportunity now to take command of the game. We'll be right back. these folks are having a ball here at the ball yard. The Indians have come from behind down 3 to tie it 3-3. And now they've got them loaded with only one out. Francisco Lindor will be coming to the plate. Ryan Dahl, a right-hander, on for the A's, having a very good year. But he's in a tough spot for a pitcher.
Well, this guy got off to such a great start in this situation, stranding inherited runners, but he is in some hot water right now. And I'll tell you, this inning, after one was out, Chisholm, a little weak ground ball, it was the error that ignited this inning, and they haven't gotten a hitter out since that error.
This is one of those best versus best kind of deals. Lindor, an all-star, having a fantastic year for the Tribe, but Dahl, first batters faced, 4 for 45.
Yeah, that's pretty special.
He checks, and it just missed 1-1.
He was the organizational pitcher of the year last year for the A's.
There's the go-ahead run. Almonte at third, Santana at second, Kipnis at first. Up and away, 2 balls and a strike.
Graveman, who started this game and did a great job, could get the loss. He's on the hook for Almonte at third.
Broke his bat, or it sounded like it. Nope, it's okay. He found it back 2-2. In the dirt, gets away. Almonte coming home with the go-ahead run.
Well, he was obviously going for the strikeout in that situation and threw one in the dirt, and there's not much Vogt could do. Look at it, looked like a slider down in the dirt. It ricochets off his hip, I think, and it goes back to the screen. Now, Monte didn't get a good read or a good jump, but he scores easily. And that run will be charged to Graveman. Close the book on him. He gives up 4. And the Indians trying to add on some more.
Infield in. 3-2 pitch. Line drive right field. Reddick makes the catch. Tagging coming home is Santana. Throw way off line. 5-3 Cleveland.
Well, it's Mr. Sacrifice Fly. Lindor, the league leader. They'll give him the ribby. That's enough to get it done. And Reddick has the best arm in the outfield. It was offline. He was upset with himself. He tried to make a perfect throw, but Santana comes in to beat it. And it's a 4-run 7th for the Tribe.
Mike Napoli looks at a ball down low. And Napoli looks at a fastball for a strike. It's 1-1. Now the 2-1. Swinging hard, and he came up empty.
looking down at my card. Now Santana's responsible for Zipchinski. Is the case. I thought it was Graveman. It is not. That's the first man that Zipchinski came into face.
In the dirt.
Boy, the Indians got a break, and they took advantage of it in the inning on the error. The 1-out error. Should have been 2 outs, nobody on. But once he reached, they pounced.
And the payoff pitch. Swung out and missed. He struck him out to end the inning. But the Indians turn the Oakland A's inside out here in the 7th, scoring 4 times to take a 5-3 lead. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Well, the Indians have come back to take a 5-3 lead as we go into the 8th inning now. And Brian Shaw is on for the Tribe.
Yeah, that switched up a little bit with a big 4-run inning. Now you turn it over to your 8th inning guy, and hopefully he can get his 3 outs, and over to Allen.
Well, Cody Anderson with a scoreless 7th inning, and that was big because, you know, he walked the leadoff man, Coco Crisp. And all I could think of was like, oh no, don't let this game get out of hand now. You've come back, you got on the board, still got a chance. But to Cody Allen's credit, he came right back. He struck out the next hitter, got Reddick to fly out, right. The fielder's choice to end the inning. And the Indians get back in the dugout, take advantage of the error. And now it's up to Brian Shaw. Throws a fastball strike to Roberto Perez, who took over for Chris Jimenez. Steven Votto for 3 on the night. Way outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shaw's 1-2 pitch is up and away. Bounced it foul, third base side. Won't let that one track really deep. Just fought it off, but it almost worked out well for him. And the 2-2. High pop left field. Might be playable. Rajay's there. Makes the catch in foul ground, one away. Billy Butler takes a strike. He singled in the second. He drove in a run with a base hit in the fourth, and then he walked in the sixth inning. And Butler goes fishing. It's 0-2. Swung out and missed. He threw it by him. A little cut fastball. Just enough movement to where Butler couldn't get the barrel to it.
Well, here you'll get a good look at it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Starts on the outside edge, and by the time he catches it, it's off the plate. But you get the swing at it, and he missed it by a bit.
Yonder Orlando, 1 out of 3 on the night. Just a bit outside. Oakland has their bullpen busy. Ground ball towards second. Kipnis on the big hop. Can take his time. Throws him out. Brian Shaw sets him down 1-2-3. And we'll go to the last half of the 8th with the Indians in front 5-3. Bottom of the 8th inning. Looking back at our keys to the game, courtesy of Mazda. Trevor Bauer, fastball command. Bauer was brilliant through 5. Gave up back-to-back solo homers in the 6th. He left with 1 out in that inning. And Kendall Graveman was really good through 6 innings. And then he ran into trouble in the 7th when his defense kind of let him down. Should have had 2 outs, nobody on base instead. When Rajay reached with 1 out, the Indians had back-to-back hits off of Graveman. He left, and the Indians pounced. Jose Ramirez to lead it off here. Ramirez tonight 1 out of 3. Short in the butt. Well, he took it for a ball. And there's a base hit to left field. My goodness, this guy just keeps hitting.
Yeah, he likes it, doesn't it? He's in his comfort zone here. His 2nd hit of the night. Goes down and gets a nice breaking ball down in the strike zone. That's hit number 8 for the Indians. Again, they get their leadoff man aboard. 4 times tonight that has happened here. This being the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Bunt. Daniel Coulombe grabs it, throws to first. And Chisenhall is erased on the sacrifice. Pat O'Brien playing the game, 7th inning, 1 out, bases empty. And a ground ball that Semien just booted. Opened it up.
That's amazing. And well, hey, that's what happens. Good teams, they get an extra out or an opportunity. They take advantage of it, and that's certainly what the Indians did tonight. They put 4 on the board and went from losing 3-1 to up 5-3.
After that error, the next 4 all reached safely for the Indians. And they all, well, including the error, then the next 4 scored.
You know, and Graveman was in cruise control up until that play there.
It really was. As they say, it happened in a hurry. Down low. Daniel Coulombe has been one of those guys who's been up and down and up and down. This is his 5th stint with the big league club this year. He had a 1-day stint back on May the 10th. But such is the life of one of those guys with options left when you're a relief pitcher. And Rajay takes it's ball 4. And the Indians have 2 on with 1 out, and Tyler Naquin coming up. Yeah, I was thinking about Arch. Cody Anderson. He's in his 6th stint with the big league club this year.
Right. Yeah, he's been up and down a lot. Right.
By the way, he's in line for the win. Indians looking to add some insurance here in the 8th. strike. Now, Naquin's only had 21 at bats this year against left-handed pitching, but he's more than held his own.
Well, he's been a different guy since the beginning of June. And he seems to be getting better and better every time. And I'm telling you, he is earning every day at bats, in my opinion, because he seems like he's in the middle of a lot of things that are happening here offensively. And that's something you can't turn your back to.
Shoots it foul the other way.
You know, he can look bad on a couple of pitches in an at-bat, but he seems to find a way to, you know, make adjustments throughout the at-bat, and that's all part of learning as a hitter. This kid is his first year.
And Terry Francona has resisted the temptation, I'm sure, that has been there to move him up in the order, too. He's kept him from the 6th spot on down. And that was just a really good pitch by Daniel Coulomb, excuse me, gets the second out of the inning.
Well, there you see the big breaking ball. Probably didn't see it before and locked him up. And he makes a good pitch and gets the strikeout. So he's trying to keep this a 2-run game. He doesn't want to let it get out of control, at least for Oakland's sake. And we'll see if Perez can do anything about it.
And Roberto Perez getting his first at bat of the night. Takes a breaking ball inside. Came up empty. It's 1-1. Down low. Yeah, just doing a quick check, Rick. This is the 5th time in the last 6 games in which Tito has gone for a pinch hit for his catching position, whether it's been Jimenez or Perez, one or the other.
If you're down in a game, you have to pinch hit down there. You just have to.
Upstairs, 3-1. So the one thing is each catcher has been in every single game, whether you start or coming off the bench. They've been involved all the time.
Well, I mean, when you look at the batting averages and the production, you have to. You have to. It's plain and simple.
Chopped up the middle. Lowry will go to first, and that will end the inning. We'll go to the 9th with Cleveland leading it 5-3.
Looking for the save for the Tribe here in the 9th inning as they lead it 5-3 over the A's thanks to a 4-run 7th inning. We welcome you back here to the corner at Progressive Field along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Boy, that offense coming alive late.
Well, and Santana, I thought, was the biggest hit of the game just to kind of reawaken the offense. And then obviously Rajai Davis's speed probably affected Semien, trying to make the throw or at least the play too quickly. It's been the theme of this team all year. Resiliency. I know we'll get into it in the postgame show, but what a performance late, and they needed it big time.
Join us for Indians Live following this one. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care for the 9th inning. Let's go back upstairs. Here are Matt and Rick. Gentlemen.
Hope you guys have extra security down there. There'll be a lot of fans.
We got Al Pal. That's all we need.
Oh, boy.
The great and powerful Al Pal.
If you're going to need more than that tonight, if you're relying on me, we're going to need a little bit more. Maybe Arch will come down.
Hey, Jensen, just buy them beer. They'll be fine.
Well, yeah, they've had plenty of it since 5, but we're ready and willing, boys.
All right, here we go. 9th inning. Cody Allen will face Marcus Semien, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, who is 0 for 3 on the night. Cody Allen, 19 out of 21 in save situations on the year.
You know, Semien wants to do something, get on base, get something rolling. It was his mistake and error that started that 4-run inning.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cody has retired 33 out of the 42 first batters he has faced on the year. And let's face it, when you're coming in for a save, it may not seem like it's that big of a deal, but that first out is huge when you can get that first guy. Blew it by him at 95 miles an hour. 1 away.
Well, and there is that first guy. Fastball outside edge. There you go. Give me your best.
What do you like to say? That had some hair on it, right?
Yes, it did.
Ryan Healy 0 for 3 on the night. That pulls it foul. Here's the 0-1 coming from Cody Allen. And a breaking ball misses outside. Oh, what a nice curveball from Cody Allen. And he gets ahead of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off the end of the bat. Nice piece of hitting by Ryan Healy. And a 1-out single will bring the tying run to the plate. He didn't hit it hard, but he got it off the end of the bat, but he stayed with it. And you see how he kept his hands back. If he pulls off that pitch,
yeah,
it's either an out or maybe a strikeout.
I'll tell you, he looks pretty good down there in the bottom part of that line. He swung the bat well tonight.
Well,
but he keeps it going.
Yeah.
Brings that tying run to the plate for Oakland.
Coco Crisp 0 for 2, but he's walked twice. He will work the count. And wow, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but no love from home plate umpire Scott Berry. Cody wanted a new baseball, and he has one. Coco Crisp goes to left field, and Rajay plays it on the short hop. And suddenly Oakland has themselves the makings of a rally. 2 on, 1 out. And Jed Lowry coming up.
Yeah, that ball off the end of the bat, and you have to defensively, Rajay. You can't let that ball, you got to play it into a single. If you don't know you can catch it, that is the tying run that's at the plate there. They still have the double play in order.
Did you see the way Coco reacted? I don't know if he just didn't see the ball or if he thought, oh man, I just popped it up, because he barely moved at home plate initially.
Well, maybe he thought it was going to be caught.
Well, here's Jed Lowry. He's 0 for 4 on the night. And he's got himself in a little bit of hot water, and here comes the. Watch Cody, or watch Coco. Kind of like, oh yeah, he didn't
see the ball, right? Well, a double play ball would take care of this.
Jed Lowry has hit into 9 on the year. Check, and he went. I don't think he fouled it. He just went too far since went to that umpire Scott.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're asking him to try and get some help there. Don't you call it? And he's getting it from the dugout right now. Let's see. I don't think. Yeah, the Indians caught a break there. He called on his own. That's where we talked about that. That's where you try and get help. He's down there looking. He says, yeah, he swung, but Perez didn't even catch the ball.
Fastball by him, elevated it. Looked like it was just above the belt. And 0-2 the count on Lowry. So that keeps himself alive. Back. Cody's thrown 14 pitches. 11 of those have been strikes. He's been in attack mode. And a couple of hits have the A's alive and well here in the ninth. Swung out and missed. He climbed the ladder and struck him out. 2 down. Second strikeout in the inning for Cody.
There's the high fastball elevated above the belt. Gets Lowry to go chase. Gets the second out. 1 out away.
Well, Josh Reddick is the batter. Reddick homered back in the 6th inning. He has scored 2 of Oakland's 3 runs. And he's up now with the game on the line and the fans on their feet. And it's ball 1 inside. A crowd of better than 33,134. Sold out house. Watching the first place Indians come from behind. And a foul right back. He had a good hack.
He tried to give him the lead, didn't he? He looked for the fastball, had a good, healthy cut. Fouls it straight back, though. That was a challenge right there. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
A 1-1. Breaking ball. Uh-oh. Hit in the air. Deep center. Back is Naquin. He makes the catch right in front of the wall to end the ball game. Woo! 5-3. The Indians a winner by the skin of their teeth. Cody Allen will pick up his 20th save of the year. And Cody Anderson gets the win, his second on the season. With the victory, the Indians are now 58-42. Oakland falls to 47-56. And it looks like Detroit is going to win over Houston tonight. So the Indians will stay 6 games in front of the Tigers in the all-important loss column.
That was too close for me right there. I'll tell you that.
Did you feel your heart stop?
Well, I just thinking, oh, please stay in. Just please stay in. It certainly did. They come back. They get the win. Now all things are good.
All is right with the world. The Indians are back in the win column atop the American League Central Division standings. A thriller on a great Friday night with a packed house. We expect another sold-out house tomorrow. The Hall of Fame induction ceremonies will take place. You'll see it all right here on Sports Time Ohio with our coverage beginning at 6:30 p.m. The final score tonight. The Indians a winner over the Oakland A's 5-3. We'll be back with a final word right after this.